Amazon really needs no introduction. It's the world's #1 e-commerce site and marketplace. It accounts for a staggering 38% of e-commerce sales in the USA, and I think it's very similar in the UK. It is the premier place where consumers start to do their product searches. So 56% of consumers start their product searches on Amazon. So that means that far more people start on Amazon than start on Google Shopping or any other platform. So it's in some ways really the place where people are going to find products. And though obviously Amazon is famous for being its own seller, it also has a very active marketplace, and 60% of sales on the market are from third-party sellers. So that's from companies selling on their own behalf on Amazon under their own name. So this is a schematic of Amazon sales. These figures are in billions, and you can see where it's still on very much an upward trajectory. I mean, even between 22 and 23, the sales went up by 10%, which is extraordinary for a business which is over 20 years old. So it really is the silverback gorilla in the e-commerce room. So let's talk a little bit about what the opportunity is for sellers on Amazon. So our clients tend to see around 20 to 40% of their sales coming from Amazon. I mean, obviously, there's businesses out there that do 100% of their sales on Amazon, but we find that around clients of ours that do really well on Amazon are doing a large proportion of their sales. There's a lot of pros to selling on Amazon, and I'll come on to the cons in a minute. It is a massive, massive marketplace. As we've seen, it's nearly $600 billion worldwide. It's an all-in-one platform. And what I mean by that is it's got a way of displaying products, it's got a way of people searching for products, it's got a way of people paying for products, and it's also got a way of people fulfilling products. So for this reason, some sellers don't actually bother going onto any other platforms. They just sell their products on Amazon. They deliver their products into the Amazon warehouse. They launch the brand on Amazon using Amazon advertising to promote it. And then they just manage the process of sending stock in and manage the advertising. It's great for product launches. And what I mean by that is it's an awful lot cheaper to do a soft Amazon launch on Amazon than it is, for example, to try and get your products into the multiples. So you can do a launch on Amazon for a few £1,000s, whereas if you're looking to get your products into somewhere like Boots or Tesco's, it's an awful lot more expensive than that. It requires a lot more stock and a lot more investment. So it's a great way of launching your products to begin with. As I said, all your customers are on Amazon. All of everyone's customers are on Amazon. So therefore, it's a great place to find new products for your customers, find new customers for your products, get your name out there. And the costs involved in doing it are relatively low. I mean, you have the cost of listing the products. The setting up an account is free. There's products are sold on a commission basis, so you only pay that once the product's sold. And if you're sending things into FBA, there's only a relatively small storage charge, and the shipping fees are pretty reasonable. So it's all in all a relatively low risk of selling your product, a low risk way of selling your products online. As with anything, there's some cons of selling on Amazon. It can be a very difficult place to sell. It's a system that's been around for a long time, and it's got more and more complicated. Because it's a marketplace, it's a fixed system, and you have to do things the Amazon way, or it's Amazon way or goodbye. There's lack of control over how your products are presented, and also as a seller, Amazon is not can be quite hard to deal with. There is unfortunately fees to pay, and then you also normally have to pay for advertising on top of that. It's a very, very competitive market. I mean, any product you search, you'll find a lot of different options, and not just sellers from domestically, but also worldwide. Increasingly, a lot more Chinese sellers. You don't own the customer, and what I mean by that is you can't. Once you've made a sale to someone, you can't then communicate with that customer. You have to, if someone wants to buy your product again, they have to go to Amazon, and they have to buy the product again. You have to pay the fees again. Though in the future, I believe Amazon will be producing more it'll become more of a kind of a one-stop shop where you'll be able to send email marketing out to your customers, but it'll still be within the Amazon ecosystem. Because of the fees and the competition, retailers tend to get lower margins on Amazon. But it's a volume play. You're looking to get big, the customers are there, you're looking to get the volume and acquire those customers. So I just want to tell you a little bit, touch on the kind of different ways you can sell on Amazon as a brand. There's, broadly speaking, 2 ways of doing it. There's the seller route and the vendor route. So the vendor route is the kind of classic wholesale model where Amazon will buy your stock at an agreed wholesale price, and then they'll take it into a warehouse, they will sell it, and then they'll send you purchase orders when they want to buy more stock. So obviously that's very easy, and it's much less work for the brand, but then you have less control. I mean, Amazon will sell at the price they want to sell at, and you have no control over that. They also, depending on the product, will probably put, may well not put that much effort into your product listings. But it's and also it's a vendor is an invite only model, so you can't just go to Amazon and say, I want you to stock my products. They have to contact you. So it's generally the bigger brands and successful brands that they will approach about the vendor model. But that said, I mean, companies like that, very big brands will use the vendor model because it's no hassle. Though Amazon will beat you down on price. The other way of doing it is the seller model, and that's called Amazon Seller Central. That is a program which is open to all. It works on a marketplace model whereby you are the brand is the seller of record. You send your stuff into the Amazon warehouse or fulfill it yourself, and then pay a commission to Amazon when the products sell. The commission you pay is typically 15%, though that does vary by category. Using this model, you have more control over your offer, and that includes the price, but it is more work. So you have to create the listings, you have to think about your stock levels, manage your pricing, manage customers, etc. It does give you much more control. So from now on, we're just going to be talking really about the seller model. Also, I mean, there's a difference. There's a difference in how you use Amazon if you're a brand owner or a reseller. So what I mean by a reseller is a company that sells other people's products. If you're a reseller, then you won't really be creating your own listings on Amazon, but you'll be listing against the catalog. And at which point you will be then you will be competing for the buy box. So if we just look at an example of that, if we take a product on Amazon, we search for 𝐻𝒦𝒐𝒏 the Firefly, which is a product I know that lots of people sell. This is a product, there's a company called 𝒂𝒐𝒏𝒁. It's a really big make of product. So if we look at all the buying options, we can see there's multiple people selling that product. So Amazon has a catalog, and then people add their offer to the catalog. And then what you're doing is competing on price. And the main that one says featured offer not available. Let's just try and find another one. Let's look at that. Okay, so in this one there's a featured offer, and that featured offer is Amazon, but that could be another seller. And what you're doing is if multiple people are selling on the same product, then you're competing to be that featured offer. And the way you do that is by being mainly by being the cheapest, but there's also a performance criteria in there as well. Now, if you are the reseller model is that's great for your company if you're a more traditional retailer and you stock lots of other people's products, or if you're a wholesaler or a distributor looking to sell a range of other people's products on Amazon. We're only going to be talking about how Amazon can be used by brand owners. So you, under the situation of you being the brand owner, you will own your brand on Amazon. You will create your own listings, and you'll probably be the only person selling it because it's your brand. Though you may have people you sell to who will compete against you, but that would be your decision. So in this case, you would the reseller model. As a seller, you'd be competing against other people selling the same product, and then that product would be competing against other products on the Amazon marketplace. Whereas if you're a brand owner and you're the only person selling that product, then you'll be competing against other similar products on Amazon. So what does it take to succeed on Amazon? I've tried to summarize it in this rather full slide. So if we what I've done is divided it into two sections: setup and driving sales. So the first bit is really about getting your products retail ready, so onboarding onto the Amazon marketplace. So the first thing you need to do is to set up an account. Now, setting up an account should be pretty straightforward, but it can be a bit of a fiddly experience. And another thing you have to bear in mind is that certain categories on Amazon are gated. And what that means is that they won't accept all sellers. So, for example, we had a client recently that sold prams, and we had to go through a process of getting the pram category ungated for them on Amazon. It's doable, but it's just another hurdle to go through. You need to register your brand on Amazon. If you want to sell a particular brand, then you need to register your brand on something called Brand Registry, which I'll show you in a moment. That means that you have the right to list those products on Amazon. That requires you to have a trademark. And after that, it's really the classic kind of e-commerce stuff. You need to create great listings with great photos. You need to create your branded presence on Amazon. You also need to think about how you're going to fulfill, and the choices are, we'll go into those in a minute. And then you need to, the second stage then, after we've done that, is about driving traffic to your listings and maintaining a good account health. I won't jump ahead of myself. So firstly, let's talk about Brand Registry. This is a system on Amazon where you register your trademark with them. So you literally go onto it and you register the trademark and say, I'm the owner of this trademark. This enables you to do two things. One is to protect your brand. So if you see other people selling products which you think has infringed your brand in some way, you can make a report. And also enables you to promote your brand. So it gives you access to extra analytics on Amazon. It gives you access to create a branded storefront, and you can create something called A+ content. Let us look now at what it is to create great listings on Amazon. I'm just going to, the most important thing is the product detail page. So I've chosen a product here called the 𝗤𝗘𝗧𝗏, which is it's not much good for me, is it? But just as an example of a good listing, you need to create keyword-rich. You need to think about every aspect of the listing and make sure that's optimized. So you need to create keyword-rich titles and description. You need to use high-quality images. If your product comes in multiple variations, you need to collect those into a single page that's so-called, collected so all the options are available on the same page in a kind of parent-child relationship. And you also need, if you've got your brand registered, you can do something called A+ content, which is the rich media area at the bottom. A second thing is your storefront. So you need storefront is your homepage on Amazon, and you need to configure that to promote your products and show your products in their best light. So let's just take a look at these in the real world. So here's an example of the 𝗤𝗘𝗧𝗏. You can see they've got multiple high-quality images of this product. They're using infographics to give people as much information as possible. They're using there's a range of products available on the same page, and they've taken time to craft a succinct but keyword-rich description and title. You can see the titles here are really the kind of thing that you would have seen on for SEO years ago. I mean, it's Amazon search is less sophisticated than Google, so and you need to have your keywords in the description, otherwise you won't appear for searches. So people do engage in a certain amount of keyword stuffing, or say not so much stuffing, but they need to use each keyword once in the description to appear for that description, to appear for that search. If we go down here, we'll see that's called the brand story, and at the bottom here we have this rich media area which is called the A+ content. So that is only available to this brand because they've registered the brand on Amazon. If we click at visit the 𝗤𝗘𝗧𝗏 store, then we go to their storefront, which is their homepage, configurable area where you can arrange your products into different categories and give more information to your customers. The other thing to see, I've just clicked back through to the product there. The other thing you can do is you can create brand ads which go directly to the storefront. So another key success factor on Amazon is the eligibility, the delivery. It's very important that your products are Prime eligible. What I mean by Prime eligible is that they are available on next day delivery to Prime's customers. So Amazon's Prime customers are it's a subscription only. Amazon subscription program where they get free next day delivery. These are Amazon's biggest customers, and I can't remember the details, but they buy much more than other customers. We found that Prime eligible, if your products are Prime eligible, it gives you a significant sales uplift. And there are two ways of achieving Prime eligibility. So the first is FBA. That's fulfillment by Amazon, where you deliver stuff into the Amazon warehouse. So you would need to create your products as FBA SKUs in Amazon, and then deliver the product. You need to create something called FBA shipment, deliver the products into Amazon, and then they would just be delivered from there by Amazon. And it's then your job to monitor the stock levels and send the stock in. The FBA is a great program. It's cost effective, and we found if you look at the cost, certainly for items under 2 kilos, if you look at the cost of raw mail cost, and if you look at Amazon's cost, including storage, it's actually cheaper than using raw mail because they've got such immense buying power. But it is fiddly, and you have to deliver your products in a certain way, and you have to you have to prepare them in a certain way, and then deliver them, package them in a certain way, and make sure you've got special stickers on them in special sized boxes. Like everything with Amazon, it's a little bit fiddly, but it's worth it. It's generally best for small items. As your items get bigger, then it's not good for furniture. It's not good for larger items because the shipping it's expensive to get them into Amazon, and then it's expensive for them to ship them. In that case, it's probably better to use something called Seller Fulfilled Prime, or SFP. This is where you fulfill from your own warehouse, and you use a particular certain carrier. So, for example, Walmail 24, Track 24 is Prime eligible, and DPD is eligible. But you need to, if you're sending these things, you need to send them to strict performance criteria, which means I think 99.75% on-time delivery. Great for things. I mean, if you've got a huge selection, which is just not practical to send it to Amazon, it's good for that. Or if you've got bigger items. Otherwise, we'd recommend using FBA because it's great value. And here on the right, we can see what this looks like. It says here, sold by, in this case, it's Cool Trade Limited, and then dispatched by Amazon. So those products are sent into Amazon by that supplier, but Amazon does the delivery, and they also do most of the customer service from that point. So we've talked about the setup. Now let's talk about what it takes to be successful on Amazon. So you've created great listings. The next part of it really is, how are you successful on Amazon search? Because it's really about getting your products in front of people. So people searching for things which are relevant to your product, getting your products in front of those customers with great reviews so that they've got a good conversion rate. So Amazon really is a great big search engine. But like other search engines, like Google, it has a sponsored, and it has a web paid and an organic part, right? So what Amazon does is if someone does a search for something, it has a filtering part. So if you search, I'm going to show you an example here. If we do a search for hairbrush, it filters, so it'll only show products that have the word hairbrush in the description or the title. And then, so there's the filtering part, and then it has the ranking part. And there's two bits of that. One is at the top, you have your sponsored listings. So they will be, what will happen is the advertiser will have said, I want to advertise against the keyword hairbrush, but you can also advertise against different other people's items, or you can advertise in categories. And you specify a cost per click you want to pay. Under these are the organic listings. So these the listings are ordered in terms of the products with the best product performance on top, and that's product performance in terms of sales performance, so click-through rate and conversion rate, and also in terms of the reviews. So you'll see, and that reviews in terms of the actual review score, the number of reviews and the review score. So we look at these ones at the top. It tends to be the ones at the top have the highest reviews. So this one here has got 1,000 reviews, and it's got 4.6. And this one here has got 4.4, and it's got nearly 2,000 reviews. Again, this one here, 3.6 reviews and 4.6. So things with better performance go to the top. So when you're launching a new brand, you will have no reviews and no sales history. And that's the point when you need to use, well, that's the point when you most need to use advertising to get your products in front of people, to get those reviews, to get that listing history. So sponsored products, we say it's a pay-per-click system. So you specify keywords and you pay-per-click. You specify either keyword targets, or you can specify category or product targets. A mature account, we would see that you would spend an extra 5 to 10% of your total sales on your on ads, on top of the 15% you normally spend. To begin with, you would probably, if you're launching a brand, you would spend much more than that. So reviews are a very, very important part of the Amazon ecosystem. You can see that, the reviews is one of the things that really made the whole system fly. To get good reviews, you have to have a great product. I mean, to sell anything, you have to have a great product, but specifically, start with a great product. Amazon has a program called Amazon Fine, and Amazon Fine enables you to get your first 20 or so listings, 20 or so reviews. So what happens is you send your you enroll your product in Amazon Fine. It costs about £100 or something like that. And then you send products into Amazon, and they will send them out to their Vine voices, who are reviewers that will, in exchange for a product, will send you a review. Other ways you can get reviews is by sending automated emails to request reviews, and you can also use inserts, though you have to be quite careful about that. So expanding internationally is another great opportunity on Amazon, and we find that people can get up to 50% of their sales from international sales. So Amazon has a presence in 20 countries, and it's growing. You can see North America, most of Europe, Australia, Japan, India. It's expanding in the Middle East, does Saudi, UAE, Turkey, Egypt. This year it's launching South Africa and also launching Ireland. So it's a great way, and the system works pretty much the same all over the world. So if you know how the system works in the UK, then it'll work pretty much the same in the USA and Australia and Canada. It is, it's a great and easy way of expanding internationally. If you want to sell in the USA, and the USA is a market which is 10 times the size of the UK. So in fact, a lot of people we'd recommend sometimes starting in the USA, because if you're getting your product shipped from China, you could get them shipped to the UK, or you could get them shipped to the States, and the market in the States is just that much bigger. If you all these countries have FBA, or most of them do. They also have something called remote FBA, which if you're in the UK, you can get your products shipped to the EU from your UK inventory. There's also another program called Pan-European FBA, where you can send stock all throughout the EU from a single inventory pool, which is Prime eligible. Amazon will automatically translate your products, and it has tools which will automatically create your listings in different countries. So it's a great way. If you've got products in one country, it's relatively easy to expand into other countries around the world. So let's talk a little bit about the financials. We're just going to go through a worked example. Amazon, broadly speaking, charges 15% commission, though it does vary by category. I mean, for example, on the baby category, if it's under £10, I think you pay 8%. I think jewelry is 25%, but it's 15. I think it's actually 15.2 in the UK. It's around that kind of level. The other cost you have is advertising. When you're launching a new brand, some people will spend as much. Some brands will spend as much as 100% of their sale on advertising. So you sell £1, you pay £1 in advertising. That's because they're trying to get reviews, and they're trying to get sales history on the listing. And the more money you spend, the more traffic you drive to your listings, the quicker that process happens, and the quicker your sales start to ramp. So initially, it's how much do you want to spend, and then after mature accounts, expect to spend 5 to 10% to drive extra traffic to your listings. There's a fulfillment cost. I mean, you're going to have a fulfillment cost whether you're selling on your website or selling by Amazon. For lighter items, I mean by that under 2 kilos, using FBA is cheaper than raw mail, and the storage fees are fairly negligible. I mean, you shouldn't be storing stock in Amazon long term. It should be passing through the system. And if you're spending a lot of money on storage, you're doing something wrong. There's also optional fees. So, for example, if you send your products into Amazon, and they need labeling or they need bagging, then Amazon will charge you for that. So, if you're selling a soft toy like this, that would need to be bagged. It needs to be polybagged. You can do it yourself, or Amazon will do it, and they'll charge you 30 pence or something like that. Similarly, with labeling, some products need relabeling, like as in the barcode's over-labeled. Amazon will do that and charge you, or you can do it yourself. So let's just look at a little bit of a P&L here. Look at this Tangle teaser again. This is £11.95, so 15% of that is £1.81. The fulfillment fees on this is £2.95. There's a calculator on Amazon. I went in and I found the fulfillment fee of that. There's VAT, which is 20% in the UK, and then there's storage. So, and because this is being stored for, I think that's the storage for a month or something. So it's like 2 pence. So its storage is negligible. So the profit before the cost of goods is £5.18 on this product. Now, as you can tell, for cheaper items, your profits are lower because the shipping is a larger proportion of the value of the item. So it does pay to sell slightly more expensive items on Amazon. So things over a tenner. It's hard to make money on things below 15, 20 pounds. So in summary, Amazon is a big opportunity for retailers because that's where all your customers are, right? It's a great way of generating sales for existing brands. So if you have a brand which has existing demand, then by putting your product, people are probably will already be searching for these products on Amazon, so you can pick up on that demand. Or if you're a wholesaler and you've got products that already exist on Amazon which are popular, then that will work very well. You will pick up demand almost immediately. It's great for new launches. It's a cost-effective way to launch new products, but you will need to promote your products on Amazon by buying advertising quite heavily for a period of around 6 months. Margins will be lower than on your own website, so it's a volume play. You're looking to acquire customers and to sell in volume on the platform. And it's also a great way of expanding internationally. I mean, if you're a business in the UK, you can do something called European Fulfillment Network or remote fulfillment, where you can offer your products into the EU from your UK inventory. You can also move from that to pan-European FBA, where you have your products in a single inventory pool in the EU, delivered primarily throughout the EU, and then look at other countries. For example, you can do the USA, Australia,